We said, for thine. Those who don't know that thine means you. For yours. Yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. We all asserted that here today. And what we were saying there when we said that was that this is God's kingdom. It's His power, and it's for His glory, not just now, but forever. There is no victory apart from God. None. It's His kingdom, it's His power, and it's for His glory. So if you're trying to attain victory today, you cannot do it apart from God. Therefore, victory requires intimacy with God. It requires being a friend of God, having a personal relationship with God. Otherwise, it's impossible, because it's His kingdom, His power, and His glory. Think of it this way. Suppose you enroll in a class in college. Okay? It doesn't matter what the course is. You're attending a college and you enroll in a class. And you sign up for that class. What do you think the chances are of acquiring an A in that class if, first of all, you never attend any of the lectures? You say to yourself, I don't want to listen to the professor. I'll just do whatever I want. You don't attend the lectures. And on top of that, you don't do the reading. Every professor assigns reading for you to do during the semester, and you say, you know what, those are all nice books, but I want to read these books. And so you go and you assign yourself your own reading. And then on top of that, you say to yourself, that's kind of a weird topic for a research paper that he wants me to do. I'm not really interested in that topic he wants me to research. I'll research this thing which I enjoy, and I'll write a paper on that. And you hand in that paper. And then when you get the test, the final exam, and you finally go to class, you say, I don't like any of these questions he's asking me. I don't know the answers to them. You just cross out those questions, and you write your own questions for which you know the answer to. What are the chances of getting an A in that class? Silly. You'll F. You'll get a fail. You'll fail. You'll get an F. Well, think of it this way. This is our battles that we're fighting on behalf. It's God's course in His classroom. And you cannot expect to have victory if you say, I'm not going to listen to him necessarily. I'm not going to do the reading he wants me to do. I'm not going to do the research that he wants me to do. And I'm not interested in the test that he has, the test questions that he wants me to be prepared to answer. You cannot find victory if you're not willing to bow to his course in his classroom. You have to submit yourself to him if you want to have victory. Okay? And that's the intimacy that's required. I want you to observe in this passage. I know it's a short passage. You kind of have to read between the lines. But observe the easy access that David enjoys with the Lord. David must have ice water in his veins because here he has this great force which is amassing against him. And you kind of get the picture that he travels down to see it. He gets on the other side of the valley. They're all spread out on the other side of the valley. He comes down the valley, and he looks across there. And the Bible's very good, even with its heroes, of giving you the play-by-play of what's going on in their heart. David here has no fear. He doesn't exhibit any fear. He just simply inquires of the Lord, what do you want me to do? Are you going to give us victory? I'm interested. And then when God says to go up, he doesn't argue with God, like some people do in the Bible. He doesn't whine. He doesn't doubt. He doesn't say, well, I don't know, Lord. They've got better weapons than we do. He doesn't do any of that. He just inquires simply of the Lord responds simply, and he obeys simply. I love that. And that's what we all love about David, and that's apparently what God loved about David. That intimacy that he enjoyed with him, that easy access. He just enjoyed a fellowship with the Lord, which was really helpful in him overseeing this country and fighting these battles. It's important to note here, David did not pick this fight. The Philistines came and fought it. And I want you to know, in your battles in life, you will rarely pick the fight. I know you're all battling things today, and for the most part, you didn't pick any of these fights. They just came to you. Well, when somebody amasses on your border, when somebody comes and they draw the sword and they want to have it out with you, it's so hard when God is a million miles away. Because what do you want to know more than anything else? How many times did kings in the Bible say, I have no idea what to do. Find me that prophet and have the prophet go talk to the Lord. I need to know what to do here. I'm anxious, I'm nervous, I don't know what to do. You see it all the time. David didn't have to worry about any of that. He just stood there on the other side of that hill and said, what do you want me to do? In life, you can't always choose your enemies. I have a lot, we all have enemies that we didn't choose, but you can choose your ally. That's what I'm trying to point out to you today. You can't choose your enemies. You can choose your ally. Foster an intimate and abiding relationship with the Lord so that you can be assured of victory, regardless of the battle that you find yourself in from day to day. Okay? That's the first thing it requires, is that intimacy. The second thing that victory requires is consistency. Let's look at verse 19 and verses 23 and 24. So David inquired of the Lord, saying, shall I go up against the Philistines? This is verse 19. Wilt thou give them into my hand? And the Lord said to David, go up, for I will certainly give the Philistines into your hand. Now look down at verses 23 and 24. And when David inquired of the Lord, he said, you shall not go directly up. Circle around behind them, and come at them in front of the balsam trees. And it shall be, when you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the balsam trees, then you shall act promptly. For then the Lord will have gone out before you to strike the army of the Philistines. Going back a few books. Imagine if Joshua had fought the battle of Jericho today. I know it's impossible to imagine that. But imagine Joshua fought the battle of Jericho today. Do you know what would happen after he got that victory? He would probably be signed to a $1 million contract with Zondervan, and he'd write a #1 happy bestseller. Probably what he'd do. And then he'd probably tour the country as a keynote speaker at conferences, and he'd probably start a nonprofit called Shouting Down the Walls, which you could access at shoutingdownthewalls.com. He'd be touring the country, touting, hey, listen, this is how I conquered Jericho. Do the same thing in your problem. Right? And that would happen today, because what are we doing today in the church? We run around looking for that magical methodology. We're all looking for that. That cure-all program, that inspirational key. Most of us go around